Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Intuitive Tarot. Back with another general reading for my beautiful and handsome collective. Mwah. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, definitely your subscribes for those of you that have unsubscribed. Mwah. Hugs and kisses to you also. Sending you all love and light on your spiritual journey. All right, this is a general reading, so only take what resonate. Any sign can be of significance. This could be past, present, or future energy. This could be clarity or validation for others of you. All right, other intuitives. So don't make something fit that doesn't. Only you know your testimony. Only you know your story. All right. Everybody's timeline is different. All right. If I'm talking about a he, I can also be talking about a she. So gender is fluid in tarot, all right? So don't make something fit that doesn't. I already pulled a few cards, so to get a message out, so far I got for some of you or somebody in particular, you may have been a student in the past when something occurred, or at a time where you and possibly someone may not have clicked at some point or something like that. Like maybe you and this person clashed. It could have been a friend, could have been a lover, could have been a family member. But you got student that came out in reverse. But it's giving, me like the Three of Pentacles. It's showing me the Three of Pentacles. So you may have been a student in the past. You may have been going to college or something at the time. May have been taking a course or something like that at a time when this happened or something occurred, or a breakup or a separation or something like that. All right, but student is in reverse. So this could have been something in the past where you were a student at, a college, or you may have been taking an online class. You could have, been, like a new student to something that you were possibly self-taught. All right, don't have to be, but take a high resident. You could have been a student in the past, like when something happened. And it's given like this next card, May or April, last May or April. It came out in reverse. So we know graduation for a lot of times happens in May. All right, with this student card out here. So last April or May, you may have, whether it was this April or May that passed, or that April or May of last year. All right. But this is something that, possibly was centered around during that time that you graduated. You may not be a student now, but you were last April or May. All right. Next card. So many things remind me of you now. So like I said, for a lot of you, it's different things. You know what I'm saying? It could be a friendship, could be a lover, could be a friend, a family member. All right. But there's a lot of things that constantly has got this person like in deep thought of you. Like there's a lot of things that they may be doing alone that they wish you were there to participate in or join them in. There may be things that they did with you, places they went with you, certain occasions, certain holidays that they may have celebrated with you. That they're not doing that now. Like they may have had a time since the last time you talked to this person, last April or May or something like that. It's got this person in having some nostalgia. All right, Six of Cups, like they're having a lot of nostalgia. But it's centered around the things that, not just past situations, but things that they feel like they have had in mind for a while. Like they could be fantasizing about things they haven't even acted on, but it's like somebody has planned or see themselves, in something with you, whether it went forward to that or not, but they still fantasize about where they see you and this person, where they see you and them at. But at this current time, like they are finding it hard to get those memories out of their head. Like they are constantly being reminded of you. And I feel like I won't say it's karma, but it is something that is structuring somebody to look at themselves and question things about themselves. they may have questioned others in the past when it came to, separations, breakups, you know what I'm saying? Different things that may not have went so well. They may not have really held themselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things that keep this person constantly in remembrance of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly being reminded of you. So many things remind me of you. Yeah. Next card, first, middle, last initial W can be significant. Whoever this reading resonates with, or whoever this individual is that may be of significance to you, W, first, middle, or last initial. All right. You got Natalie out here. You got Crimea River. So this person could be a Gemini. Keep saying Gemini. When this card came out, I got Gemini. So somebody could have Gemini in their chart, but somebody could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Crimea River, somebody could be a water sign. So a water sign is either crying or something like that, or somebody's crying over a water sign. So somebody's possibly, have shed some tears. You could be an air sign, because when this card came out, I heard Gemini. Just now, when I picked this card up, I said it again. So you could be a Gemini dealing with a water sign. Could be a Libra, Aquarius dealing with a water sign. Take it how it resonates. But this person is crying. Like somebody could have shedded some tears over, some things that they did not see themselves possibly even crying about. You know what I'm saying? But if this is a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, yeah. Depending on, what month, of Pisces, this is. Or Cancer. Like, it depends on the month. Date, like they sun, moon, or whatever. Like, because some folks, you got to look at high vibrational, low vibrational moments with people, times, when they're in a south node, a north node, and things like that. And their placements do play a part in, their emotional stance on things. So, yeah, they could have shed some tears, over, the things that they feel like, they constantly being reminded of when it comes to you. Next card, justice will be served. So somebody could be, in the process of having to have a court case, to settle something or settle some type of dispute, or it may be something that may involve a court, whether it's spiritual court or whether it's actual court. Okay, but either is relevant, but justice will be served. I feel like somebody, may not think, after some time that something won't be balanced out, or if they go a certain route, that they won't have to worry about karma no time soon. But that's not the case. This is not the time, for anybody to feel like, doing some foul shit towards somebody is going to, probably pop off, or they ain't gonna see that come back around, or they'll have time to correct it next year, or they may set a time where I'm gonna get that done, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna let this time go by. I'm gonna let some time go by. You let some time go by, you may not even get that opportunity to do what you can do today. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going through, their karma right now, and it's not good. And they not having to wait till the next life to get that. They getting it now. All right. So if there's some time, that you need to be getting something right, making something right, because moving forward, on your path and on your journey, whether you in your south node or your north node, moving forward means clearing paths and clearing out, clutter, from previous cycles and things like that. Really, it's letting it go, doing your cleansing and stuff like that. And like AA, people do, they have to go back down that list of people that they wronged, that they, have, fallen short with, you know what I'm saying, and go back and mend those fences. You know what I'm saying? Instead of leaving them as, torn down or burned bridges. You know what I'm saying? Some people just got, some damaged fence. You know what I'm saying? Fences between, people. Some folks have got literally burned bridges. Like there's no way of repairing it and making things right so you can cross over, and get over something. No. Some people have literally let the fence get to the bridge and now they dealing with a burned and broke down bridge now. But if you got some fences that can be mended, start mending your fences. You know what I'm saying? And make something right, instead of trying to set a time to do something that is not, something going to be something genuine. I just need some more time. I just need some more time. Nobody needs that much time to fuck over somebody. They do it just like that. But when it's time to make something right, it takes all that time. It takes all this preparation. It takes all these excuses. It takes all these things that are distractions to keep them from going and doing something that's making something right as fast as they made it wrong. That shit crazy. It's wild. It's crazy. It's you know what I'm saying? It explains why, when we in our South Node and dealing with other people like that, like we feel like that's our clique. That's our, that's our crew. Until we awaken and we like, man, that shit there so damn foul. Like, you almost, look at yourself in a different light. Like, I can't believe I even rolled and rolled like that. Like, I even was moving like that. Like, that's no. And from that point on, because I was just saying earlier, a lot of us, or seeing, a lot of race baiting and stuff like that. And a lot of people, standing up and being, using their voice and their words, when it comes to them speaking out and giving accountability for their actions and their behavior and things like that. Whether it's the, to avoid karma or whether it's the fact that they, just want to be accepted and not just, say they sorry or, do their part in a situation, when it comes to protesting and just move along instead of wanting to be part of, another community of people, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, just fighting and, clearing out the clutter together and disperse, go over there, we're going to go over here. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody told you had to do, if you're going to make something right, with the people that you have made the enemy out of for no reason at all, whether you was raised that way or whatever, you're following a path, you're following, a upbringing. Either way, it's followers in a group of people that all want to, say they think in the same way, they feel the same way, which can be led to believe, that's how a lot of cult, and satanic and, a lot of dark groups start, because even the good groups of people, you know what I'm saying, and what they do and how they do get labeled something that, is not exactly what it is. But if somebody told you had to do right by folks that you done did wrong for 400 years, way before us, and you had to do right by them people for 400 plus years, you would literally, you can just about know right off the bat, ain't nobody finna fake the funk that damn long to say that they love you, they adore you, they cherish you. They, sorry for, anything, any lie that was told, anything that was covered up, anything they may have helped in the past that now they realize, that was the wrong thing to do. I was, trying to avoid karma. I was seeing a lot of foul shit, on other sites and coming over here and, saying positive things. But on the back burner, I do got an uncle that's, waiting on me outside in the truck to go to this meeting. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But if somebody told you to right your wrong, you would have to do it as long as your ancestors did it wrong. You would have to do it that long the right way. Because it wasn't done the right way the first time. Right? But that we already know that's going to be hard to do, because it was easier to do foul shit for 400 years. And just keep it going. It's easier to do that. And some people will go toward darkness all the time to win a fight, just to win an argument. You know what I'm saying? But the consequences of that is not, something that they really studying at that time, because they looking to use darkness to correct that too, to stop that, halt that too. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, it's like justice will be served. But we're gonna see what that's about. What would this justice be served in? When you're talking about justice, it's about accountability. It's about, cause and effect and things like that as far as someone taking responsibility and accountability for their actions. So, clarify justice will be served. What would justice be served in? What is that about? Clarify justice will be served. Justice will be served. What would this justice be served in? Got the Two of Swords. With the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So somebody coming in, somebody's coming in out of the cold. Like somebody's, getting some things in order. Like they could be, finally getting their head above water. It could be clearing out some karmic debt. You know what I'm saying? Right now. It could be paying off a debt. Whether it's karmic debt or it's actual debt. You know what I'm saying? Physical debt. Got the Four of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck too. So it's like somebody having to find new goals, new strategies, new ways of expressing themselves when it comes to their emotions. But with this Two of Swords, like somebody was indecisive, like they could have, had a third party situation, that did not pan out as far as them possibly maybe choosing somebody over you or something like that instead of you. Especially if they allow somebody to cloud, like, their decision making as far as them using their intuition and, being at a crossroads, on purpose. Because whatever it is, the communication that's being withheld, like whether this person told you about a third party, whether it was a lover, whether it was a family member, whether it was a family situation, any other distraction that may have, come between you and this person. You know what I'm saying? But there's something that allowed somebody, that moment of uncertainty where they were indecisive. And it was like some information, being hidden. Like somebody don't want another person to see, something a certain way. So it's like keeping they crown clouded, keeping they mind's eye foggy. You know what I'm saying? Keeping they judgment, clouding their judgment, of how to see something and having the truth so they'll know what direction and what path to take, what direction they need to go in. Clarify the Two of Swords. Justice will be served. What's the Two of Swords? Got the King of Swords. Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck in reverse. Like somebody could have been moving slow when it came to them possibly having to let something, play out or something that had to run its course or something like that. I don't know if this was like a divorce, or somebody having to strategize or something like that. Like be clear about, what it is or what they want. With this King of Swords, this is like somebody possibly, just like a Queen of Swords. They could be an empath as well. But I'm getting like somebody possibly, knows how to read a room. They could be real creative. You know what I'm saying? They just like a Queen of Swords. They're very good communication and things like that. They know how to read people and things like that. Like they know how to read a room, read the situation. But this is also giving like somebody that knows they gotta have boundaries, or they know, how to, get what they want out of a situation by way of, how they use their words, how they talk or whatever. They can have a gift of gab, you know what I'm saying? But it's like somebody knows that they, like, somebody may have a slick tongue or whatever, but I feel like they, possibly may have to look in between the lines when somebody talking. I don't know if they chose somebody over you, or you chose somebody over the collective or something like that. Somebody chose somebody over the collective, but it's like they, got boundaries, you know what I'm saying? But they also got, making some clear communication about something. It's almost like somebody saying, this could be an authority figure, a leader of some kind, or somebody leading something. Right now, they could be leading a case, or they leading, and whatever's being said, like they taking the lead, or they speaking up, for themselves or something like that. But it's like, how somebody will say, they'll start talking about how they gonna move, or what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and do this so I can do this and this and this, because I'm about tired of this and this being this way. It's gonna just have to be, if I do this or that, and this person decide they're gonna do this and this, then fuck it, shit, I'm gonna do it anyway. Because even if I stay, this person still gonna have some, some blah 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 up their sleeve. You know what I'm saying? So woo woo up their sleeve. But I feel like somebody keeps something sneaky going on, because this is like a third party situation, like, um, and it just, has kept somebody like being at a stalemate. So whether somebody was withholding information, like to keep somebody from knowing exactly like what's going on or something like that, or like, how somebody just, like I said, they got a slick tongue. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like somebody like kind of, trying to turn your words against you, or like, trying to project, you know what I'm saying? Um, or like confuse your words, or jumble your words or something like that, that kind of make what you saying or what they saying, or what I'm saying, sound like, they saying the same thing, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, somebody possibly, is keeping something open, keeping a cycle, at a crossroads, because they don't want whatever this person needs to know and hear to come out, so that they can, boom, make the right decision, know what direction they need to go in and go. So it's like, man, if this person find out that I cut their tire and caused that accident, and ever since then, that person been looking after me, making sure I got what I need, and they willing to, wait on me hand and foot. But somebody caused that person, or slashed that person tire, and was in the right place, followed them, that day, until they knew that moment, was going to come, and they put themselves, in harm's way to be, somebody that this person has to wait on hand and foot now, not knowing that this person staged the whole thing. It's given that it's like somebody knowing that, they got like a piece of information or some communication that need to be had. So if this person had something they were supposed to tell you and they didn't, it's going to come out anyway. And they may have been slow about coming towards you to do it. Like it's something that this person needed to say, or something that they needed to tell you, and they may have taken their time, coming towards you, maybe because they want to see if you picked up on what it is that they need to tell you before they tell you. It's like somebody wanting to know how much you know before they tell you what they did or said, or what's been going on with them. Like, okay, what you think been going on with me? It's like that. And it's like somebody wanting to hear what you got to say, so they can determine how much they need to fill in, or what they need to leave out that you don't already know. So if you don't already know about that, then I ain't got to bring that up, because that may get in the way of you possibly taking me back, or my chances of you even, wanting to hear from me anymore ever again, especially if you in no contact with this person. and they didn't tell you anything. It may have still caused the ending. Especially if somebody they around did this. Like if they chose somebody else over you or you chose somebody else over the collective, it's like whoever a third party was that was trying to, keep the truth of something like coming out so somebody could make a sound decision, or trying to keep, some type of communication going that just kept somebody blinded by what the truth really was. So whether it was a past person, third party, or your past person, doing this toward the collective. You know what I'm saying? What's the King of Swords with this Two of Swords? What's the King of Swords with the Two of Swords? Because there was some communication that was supposed to be had, but I feel like somebody was trying to avoid saying more than they needed to. And like somebody talking in, I don't want to say parables, like somebody like talking in circles to see what you know. So it's like, you get what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying, you do. If you don't worry about it. But what's the King of Swords with the Two of Swords? You got the Page of Wands in reverse. And somebody wasn't being they self anyway. Like somebody was wearing a mask with this Page of Swords in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse. Like somebody was wearing a mask. Like they wasn't, they may have been, not going off of who they really were. And this could have been somebody younger than them that didn't know, or and if it's not somebody younger that this third party was, like the third party could have been somebody younger than you or younger than them, could have been younger than both of you. But or they could have just been somebody that's immature, that was immature in the past about how they, were handling things, or how they went about, communicating with you. You know what I'm saying? Being decisive about something. Got the Nine of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So somebody feel, oh sorry y'all, somebody getting sleepy, or tired. But yeah, and it's, probably approaching 5 o'clock now, depending on where you are. But yeah, somebody had, some wishful thinking that did not turn out. Somebody feels like a failure now. Like this Nine of Cups is in reverse. Like somebody feel like, whatever opportunities or whatever, success they thought they had, with having all these other options or whatever they, felt like was more important, and what they was getting from other people, or whatever emotional gain they were getting from all these other people, what I'm saying, playing into, they could have been a player. You know what I'm saying? But it's giving like somebody that may have had more people invested in them that they didn't really have to pour into. So it's like somebody, was somebody that was a taker. Like they just, on the receiving end, they don't really give back as much as is being put out when it comes to them. Because this Page of Wands is giving like somebody that, in the upright is about, an eye opener, what I'm saying, that aha moment. But you could discovering yourself, you could be traveling, what I'm saying? You could be, wanting to get out and find things out about yourself, when it comes to you being your true self, you know what I'm saying? And exploring and going. And this person could like to travel, they could be into traveling, but it's about, that's in the upright. But in reverse is, giving like somebody that don't know who they really are. It's like somebody, pretending to be somebody that they not. The truth, it's going to come out. Justice will be served. Because like somebody's not being truthful about who they are, what I'm saying, and what they about. And whatever success somebody was supposed to, get, they not getting. So it's like now, it's, you got the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the Three of Swords in reverse. Strength in reverse. Mm. But I feel like, justice will be served on the behalf of, somebody possibly trying to keep somebody from their nine of cups, 10 of pentacles. By way of like trying to keep somebody in their head about somebody else. Even if it's a family member. Any more on this message, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels? Any more on this message? Any more that collective needs to know on this message? You got Aries, Leo, Sage right here so far. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius right here with the Two of Swords. You got shadow work. It came out in reverse. So somebody could have been refusing to do shadow work in the past. Looking within, like doing some self-reflecting and things like that. Or this is something that they doing, that they, kind of being to themselves, about right now when it comes to them possibly like being reminded of so many things when it comes to you. So that could be, somebody could be refusing to do shadow work, especially, if somebody is resisting some type of truth or, change in some way. Mississippi could be of significance. You could be from Mississippi. Somebody could be from Mississippi, whoever this reading resonates with. Anything else on this message? But yeah, you got Natalie out here. You got first, middle, last initial W. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio could be of significance as well. Somebody could have, like I said, this could have been something that somebody, shedded some tears over. Known or unbeknownst to you. All right. Anything else on this message? Anything else on this message that the collective needs to know? Spirit, Holy Angels. Next card, you got minding the wrong business. So somebody was minding the wrong business. Why is shadow work in reverse? Clarify shadow work in reverse. You got the King of Wands that came out in reverse. The High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Pisces energy with this High Priestess. Aries, Leo, Sage with this King of Wands. And somebody possibly done had, to like slow down, or they done lost a lot of confidence in themselves or something like that. Somebody don't like what they see when they look at themselves. Like somebody don't, they may not feel like they attractive at all, or you think they may feel like you don't, see them as somebody, attractive anymore. They could feel like, you don't, find them to be somebody appealing. or interested in them in any way because of they're being reckless. And somebody was refusing, to look at themselves, in a situation when it comes to, them possibly like being in their ego or something like that. Maybe they were thinking with the wrong head, man or woman. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, when it comes to them possibly wanting to know if there's a possibility that they know, they know. And when you know, When they know, yeah. If they questioning, I'm gonna put it like this, collective. If the past person is wondering how much you know about what they didn't tell you, if they wondering how much you know, if you know, and you know a hell of a lot more than they willing to tell you. So, again, if this person don't intend on coming towards you, telling you what you do or don't know in this entirety, they need to just stay where they at with whoever they chose over you or whatever decision they made, in the past to stay away and not come towards you because that's their best bet. Because 9 times out of 10, them getting with somebody else and not righting this wrong and not taking accountability here, it's just going to mean any other connection is going to fail, therefore, moving forward. Whether it's work, relationship, anything else, it's going to fail because you can't say the Most High God didn't give you something that you asked for only for you to get it and mistreat it. He's not going to give you something bigger and better for you to mishandle and mistreat that too for your own advantage, for your own good. And not give back to that person, what they giving to you. The Most High God ain't going to keep giving you them kind of people. At some point, you're going to have to reap what you sow. And you're not going to be able to make it, a concrete thing to go back and say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. I really didn't mean to be, towards you or whatever. But I understand, my apology don't land me another opportunity with you. That's not, that still is strictly up to you. Just like, accepting my apology. You know what I'm saying? But I can only say how effective I can be, and I know I have to be, and how effective I know I can be and have to be, moving forward, whether I'm with you or not, about, where I messed up at. So with you being, somebody that I am starting with from here on out, then I know I have to, work on anybody else I come in contact with, being mindful of that behavior not being something I go back and repeat, and finding better solutions to temperance. You know what I'm saying? But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And this person may have at one time, just being arrogant and shit like that, or they could have been, an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially if somebody, at one time was just, letting people pour into them instead of them, being the one that worked on themselves and made themselves somebody, worth being with, instead of just depending on somebody else showing they worth. Like how somebody will say, a man will say, what you bring to the table? The damn table. What else? Next question. You know what I'm saying? Because some folks like, well, everybody say they can cook. Don't, I can cook. Okay. But that's not a necessity, to have, somebody, well, I got a job. Those are things that you need for yourself. With or without, whether that person take you up on a date, a coffee date, or anything else. Anything that you might point out that you doing for yourself is necessities. Those are things that you are going to have to do for yourself, whether that person want to be with you or not. So, next question. You know what I'm saying? With or without choosing somebody, to be in your life, you still gonna have to eat. You still gonna have to get up and, make ends meet. You still gonna have to look after yourself. So not every man wants to clean their house up. So finding a woman that'll clean up her house and behind you is rare. Clarify this King of Wands in reverse. What's the King of Wands in reverse? Got the Knight of Pentacles. the Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So somebody want to come in now, you know, and they could be traveling towards you with this Knight of Pentacles. They could be an older person. Don't have to be. I don't know why I'm getting somebody in a secret society, or they in some type of group, or they were. Because this sunflower got a star in the middle of it. It's like a symbol, even though it's, the Star of David is still, something that is, used in a lot of, rituals. And that card in the makeshift deck did want to come out, that secret society. So somebody is in one, or they trying to hide the fact that they are, or they were, has some affiliation with one. Don't have to be either. Whoever this reading resonates with, though, maybe. Like they person or somebody from their past, maybe, whether they telling you about it or not. Yeah, so they could be an artist, don't have to be. They could, draw a lot of those, a lot of weird symbols that you probably not, familiar with. But if they do, shit, look them joints up. You know what I'm saying? Screenshot them and take a picture of them and look them up. Do your research. You know what I'm saying? If you never read that book called The Lost Symbol, the Book of Symbols. It's a very long book, but it's actually good. And I think the Book of Symbols, turned into a movie, of course, like most books do. And it had Tom Hanks in it, but it didn't really give you the full scope like the book did of all the symbols and this man wearing, one of them, what is that thing called? A chalice on his thigh. And it like some spikes that, drives into your flesh. And they tighten it up whenever they feel like they need to, punish themselves for something. They feel like it's, dark or something like that, however they go. But it's in that book of symbols. And I remember checking it out from the library. I read it twice. But I'm an avid reader, anyway. Especially if it's something I like. You know what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying? It's knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? Whoever checked it out after I returned it never brought it back to the library ever again. And most public libraries, you can turn that book in pretty much in any location and they'll get it back to the original location you got it from. If you happen to be somewhere still, in the area or something like that, but around a different library, they still will make sure to get back to the one that is stamped saying it belongs to. You know what I'm saying? And that person was like, well, they still haven't brought it back. They still haven't brought it back. I'm like, if they know what I know about that book, they won't bring it back. Because it's got a lot of, I'm talking about, it's got, that book of symbols, it's got everything in there. It's like it's a lot in there. Very, very informative. It's locked and loaded. Like, somebody wants somebody, they want, to build, or somebody wants some type of, foundation, stable foundation, or, inheritance, or they want some type of stability, whether it's, financial, stability or something like that. Yeah. And whoever this is, they may have been somebody at the time that, that won't, and this King of Wands in reverse don't have to be a masculine, be a feminine in their masculine energy, just because they refuse to like look within and actually do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is somebody that keep putting off doing stuff for themselves or doing things that, would benefit they higher self. You know what I'm saying? But they keep finding other things, to blame other people for, so they don't have to do it. And that's what happens when a lot of people don't like how you are or how you speak or what you do for work, because they would never speak like that. They could never, find the time to dress like that. So they gonna talk shit about you and what you doing. Because this Knight of Wands is like experiencing a lot of, this King of Wands, like I said, they experiencing a lot of delays and shit. Like, a lot of the things that they want to, take action in, they having to wait. And it's really just about this person, not wanting to like do the necessary stuff, that need to be done or didn't want to do it before. And whoever this is, they could be somebody that at one time they did not, how somebody will support, or like, the fact that you come up with certain things, but they don't really put any effort into it. Like, somebody, you can give somebody, whoever this is, you can give them some idea about something that you're working on or you want to work on, but this person won't lend you possibly the money to get it started. But they'll, say and, possibly be part of what you're doing, but they don't, want to too much invest, they time and their money into it like that. Hmm. But, especially if this person didn't have it anyway, if they were getting it from somebody else. But you got the Knight of Pentacles out here now. So somebody, got a little money, but I feel like they could be, getting a promotion or something like that. They could have a new job, or they got, moved up the ladder or something like that, being promoted. This job may come with some extra money or something like that, some kickback, for them. Because this person may have had to wait on, some things and hold back on, a business idea or something like that they've been wanting to work on. But, when it comes to this shadow work, like I said, there's going to be a setback and some delays when it comes to somebody actually, having to right their wrong and go within and work on themselves before they start asking for some big blessing or, some big favor from the Most High God and their spirit team. Like, you need to, go and prove to us that you know how to keep all your ducks in a row and take care of them so they don't wander off. And you saying, fuck it, ducks don't wandered off before they came back. This is not how that is. But that's what happened when you minding the wrong damn business. Somebody, more into what you got going on or trying to make whatever they saying about you more relevant, you know what I'm saying, and pointing out the flaws or the fuck up in that or the dislike in that, and they shit, you know what I'm saying, being delayed and put off and held up. Clarify minding the wrong business. Got the Seven of Swords. Yeah, somebody being sneaky and deceptive. Talking in circles and shit. Minding the wrong business. Mm-hmm. Being in some type of competition or somebody like, feeling some type of way, like intimidated. Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Minding the wrong business. Clarify the Seven of Swords. What's the Seven of Swords? Yeah. Got the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody could not like, what it is that you do for work or something like that, or saying what you do for work is dark or something like that. Because the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is somebody that, possibly, an introvert, somebody that works from home, whatever work you do from home. You could be a content creator. You could have been a student, you know what I'm saying, an online student or something like that. You could have been in school or something like that. But it's like somebody possibly, was more focused on what you going to school for or something like that, or what you were really doing at home or some shit like that. Like somebody's wanting to know, like, why they ain't. It's like somebody saying, why they not doing what they went to school for then, if they went to school for something. But you may multitask. Like somebody wears many hats. Somebody is multi-talented, multifaceted. Like somebody has a lot of different, talents and hobbies and shit like that. Like they know a lot of different things. Like one content creator, I remember her saying, um, if it looked like the things I post is all over the place, it's because it is. I don't have a certain niche that I have. Um, I dibble and dabble in a lot of different things. I have a lot of different talents, so I don't have, one talent, to present, the people that follow me. I have many talents, so my platform may show and talk about various things. They may be scattered out. My content may be all over the place, but that's the amount of talent that I have. I can't just settle and be on one thing, and just ride that one wave out. Like, no. But somebody's now, could be laying something to rest, or they want to call some type of peace or truce, to a situation or something like that. Because somebody see you as somebody faithful. You know what I'm saying? You could be young at heart, could be setting goals for yourself, very trustworthy, goal oriented and things like that. But somebody don't like what you do for work, because this Queen of Pentacles is in reverse. Like somebody don't do what you do, and whatever it is that you do, they don't do, or they don't do it as good, or they don't think they'll be as good as you, or something like that, or they don't feel like you better than them, whatever the case may be. Because I feel like you may work from home. For some of you may be an introvert, you could do both. But somebody's saying that it's, a dark nature of what you're doing at home versus what you went to school for, or something like that. Like, that's what they trying to spin it as. But somebody want to, bring something to rest. Like somebody just want to, be at peace. You could be healing right now. Like if somebody trying to see what you doing and shit like that, you could be healing. You could be, just staying to yourself with the 4 swords at the bottom of the deck. Could be just cooling. The man sitting in the boat, he just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too much going on around him. He just doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Just being him. Enjoying him. Yeah. It could be, people in your community with the 4 wands at the bottom of the deck too, wanting to know what you got going on. Or in your home, like somebody want to know what you're doing. None of their damn business, bro. They be honest. I'm already getting that damn energy. Somebody minding the wrong damn business. They want to know what you're doing in your home. None of your damn business. Collective don't want to know what you. They don't want you knowing what the fuck they doing in their home. Mop your floor. How about that? Go clean them windows. Stop looking in other people's, windows and clean your own shit. Look who's peeping in my window. Pow. Nobody. Not 2017 could be of significance. Could have known this person back in 2017. Could have, met this person during that time. Again, you got Natalie out here. And you got first, middle, last initial W. Anything else? Maybe we're going to close out. See if anything else on this message, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. Yeah, they could be telling people you hiding who you really are. Who you really are is unbothered. How about that? And we're going to end it there. Because some folks just want to know something that, fits the narrative that they is trying to spin on you. Because they don't want you to be doing better than them. Especially if somebody want to come towards you that you doing better than, even if you ain't doing shit. Even if you ain't got what they got. And even if they don't like what you do for work. Or they don't like the fact that they can't see what you're doing in your home. Whether it's a past person or your past person. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody give. They press about what you ain't doing and what you could be doing and what you ain't doing. If they try God, they may be able to, get some answers for their goddamn self. But they too busy trying to, get some answers, some questions answered. You know what I'm saying? When they come to the business. You know what I'm saying? And not that you sent for them, but collective. Somebody just want to know. They want to know what you got going on. They want to know what you're doing in your home. They could be asking around in the community and shit like that. Like, if anybody know you or in the area you stay in, the complex you stay in, you could have people, asking around, them trying to find somebody that they think, you might talk to or something like that. They may have seen you around to see what they can tell. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Some folks be on the outs looking in and be so frustrated with looking in, they'll fuck around and show their own face. You have been ran up on them looking for you because they looking so hard. But I'm going to end it here, collective. You guys make sure you do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. Make sure you take a nice hot shower, do your spiritual bath, and get that rest that you so much need. All right? Those of you that have subscribed and liked and viewed Thank you guys so much for your support. Okay, I really do appreciate you guys. This is Intuitive Tarot. Until next time, you all, those of you that genuinely love me, know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.